our lead sponsor from the great state of Tennessee, Representative Bart Gordon. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thanks so much for being here.
Good to see you again. This is the first time I've been in this new environment here. Thank you all for coming. I think our Senate co-sponsor probably did a good job of giving you an overview of what we're doing here. So let me just quickly give you a couple of facts. In 2006, about one out of every six ambulances that went to an emergency room had to pass it by and go to another one. It has to be worse since then. I was talking to an administrator of mine in Tennessee, and he said that just since June, the number of patients going into the emergency room has gone up by a third. Clearly, as the economy gets worse, we're starting to see that more and more that the emergency rooms become the first source of treatment for so many people. And so I think you might say, well, I'm not going to the emergency room, so why does this affect me? Or if you're going to pay them more, then is that my taxes? You know, I mean, why am I doing this? So let me tell you why I think this affects you. And I think I'm sort of a regular person, and you're regular folks, and let me tell you what might happen. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Tennessee, and my wife was leaving the house and fell down and severely cut her hand, and had to go to the emergency room and get almost 20 stitches. Well, what if she had to pass by? Or what if she was boarded? That's what goes on a lot now, is that the emergency rooms can't handle everyone. And so, you know, you're put on a bed and say, well, get a number. What would have happened there? 6 years ago, my wife and I were driving down the road, and our daughter had a seizure. The worst things ever happened to me in my life. The most frightened I've ever been in my life. Her eyes went up, you know, she started shaking, and we went to the emergency room. Fortunately, we were able to get right in, and she got the care that she needed. What would have happened if we were 1 out of 6 and had to go back? You know, or what would have happened if she was boarded? Now, that could happen to any of you. That could happen to anyone in America, and that's the reason that you should all be concerned about this bill. And I'm so happy that Jeff is that we're working in peace. Excuse me.
Yeah. You know, it's nothing worse when your brother is close with some of your colleagues also. So it's all right.
That we're working together on this very important piece of legislation. And so I hope Debbie gave you the general synopsis, but let me just tell you what we're trying to do here. We want to increase the Medicare payments for emergency-related care by 10%, establish a commission to examine the problems facing emergency departments, such as specialty shortages, make recommendations to Congress. This is very important now, because even though you may have an emergency room that's open, it's very difficult to get specialists. It may be, you know, again, a surgeon or brain or heart or whatever it might be. And so that's, you know, very important. Again, my daughter needed a specialist. I'm glad that they were there. It requires HHS to work on hospital quality measures for boarding. And boarding, as we talked about, is another problem. You can get in, but what if you're warehoused? Say, take a number. So we'll get to you later. So this is, I think, important legislation that affects all Americans, and I'm glad that we've got a good bipartisan, bicameral team that's going to be working on this.